Hey guys, welcome back to a new video. In this video I'm gonna be showing you guys the games from my actual season end. I kind of messed up on the recent video upload. I thought that was gonna be the games for my season end, but I accidentally repeated clips. But this video contains the real season end games. In the first match here, I am going to be against Expo. We get a very nice Ice Spirit plus Inferno Tower on the Expo, and we get 2 Princess shots on the right. And I think we're actually up a little bit of Elixir, or at least even, so pretty much a perfect start. I mean, we're up 900 damage and we're not down Elixir. So just gonna cycle to my Evo barrel now. I know he's gonna log it, but getting to the Evo is the important part. But anyway, this season I actually finished, I think, at number 404. Definitely not what I was hoping for, but I got very tired and I kind of struggled in the meta, so we're gonna try and do better this season. Although I think the meta has actually shifted for the worse for Logbait. But yeah, we'll see. He fireballed the Princess, which is absolutely fine. I mean, in general, it's always good to go for princesses like up the middle, but you can also play it in the back because it's going to be a positive 1 trade for you, and he's not going to win simply by fireball cycling. So he definitely needs to pressure with Expo, so that's why I decided just to go for it in the back. Here I decided to go for Knight and then an Inferno Tower on the Expo because I felt confident in my ability to defend the Inferno Tower, even if he continuously defended his Expo. Split Gang takes out the Knight and provides a counter push. We get 1 hit on the left, and I go for a Princess on the left here, just figuring that going same lane wouldn't be bad for me because I'd be able to potentially rocket a Knight in the back or archers, or more importantly, cycle logs onto his Expo and hit the tower as well. I kind of messed up here. I actually played my Princess to activate the Tesla, but it was straight into the Electro Spirit, so it died straight away. But the important part was just getting the Expo off the board. You'll notice that he's slowly catching up to me in terms of tower damage, but once again, like, we have the rocket, so it's not gonna be, as long as we can just not get too far behind or anything, we should be absolutely fine. Here we have the Evo barrel back, so we get some very nice pressure here. He has to log the right side, but the barrel gets... I placed the barrel in the front because I knew he had the Evo Skellies, and we get like a 1600 HP. So it's very important to keep track of your opponent's Evo Skelly cycle so that you know how they'll respond to the barrel. And if you know they're going to go Evo Skellies, you can always try to put it in the front. And if they don't see that it's in the front, you're going to get at least a couple hundred damage, or maybe more like I did. But yeah, so just pressure with Princess in the opposite lane, just rocket his Expo. At this point, I'm confident I'm gonna win because I just need to keep rocketing his Expos and make sure that he doesn't outcycle me or anything like that. And then I'll be pretty much get a free win here. So just go for an Ice Spirit and then an Inferno Tower. Once again, very nice combination. He does go for the Evo Archers, which will take out my Inferno Tower before it can take out the Expo. Evo Archers does have a massive DPS output. It's actually insane. I think the Expo in general is definitely a very good matchup for Logbait, but Evo Archers can be a bit of a joker if you kind of let them build up a big push. It sounds weird with Expo, but like sometimes they can, you know, get a lot of value with the Evo Archers, like DPS down your tanks, like Knight and Goblin Gang very quickly, and you might be in a bit of trouble. So he fireballed my tower naked. I just decided to go for a rocket barrel to force out some elixir, then just cycling back to my rocket. I don't even need to, the barrel's in the front. He missed it with the Evo Skellies again. GG's. Next match here is against a Japanese opponent. I just go for a barrel in this safe spot. He plays the Evo Sap with the Goblin Gang, so it's going to be some version of a bait deck, but it's not going to be classic Logbait. It could be a deck like MK Bait or maybe Mortar with a Sap. So with this Skelly Burl, it's probably going to be MK bait. Kind of an awkward cycle to respond to the Skelly Burl, but ganging the back does just fine because he didn't have sap in cycle. He goes for a miner in the back, which I think is a bit interesting, but I guess it works for him. Just get a nice Ice Spirit on the Spear Goblins. It's always good to cycle to those Evos, so I could have played a Knight on the Spear Goblins, but it decided to go for an Ice Spirit instead, to cycle to my Evo faster. Here I just used my Knight to tank for the Goblin Gang, and then I can go for my Goblin Gang on the left side. He might sap that, yeah he does, but it's not gonna get him anything. I just go for a Princess the Bridge here, knowing that he's got Bats in cycle, but that should get me 2 hits. Pretty nice Princess, because I can just go for an Ice Spirit on top of the Bats. Unfortunately, that one Bat survived, which I think it gets like, what was that? Comment down below how much that one Bat got. I think it was like 800 or something. Unfortunate, but should still be possible to win. It can be a bit of a tricky matchup, but it's definitely not impossible. The Evo MK is deadly though. Very nice Evo barrel push here. He goes for an MK the Bridge, which is terrible because... Wait, no, I thought I was going to go for the Infernal Tower. Hold on. He goes for the Evo Sap on the Princess. I think that's a bad Evo Sap. The Knight is taking out the MK. I can go for a Goblin Gang here. And the Spear Goblins luckily survive, which will take out the Bat and the Inferno Dragon. I don't even need to go for an Ice Spirit. And look at the damage we got on the left side. Huge overcommitment with the MK at the bridge. Sorry, just ignoring the left side. Big mistake by him. Although I'm not sure how he could have even prevented it, to be honest. Just go for a Knight the Bridge on the Spear Goblins. Princess takes out the Skelly Barrel. Gang on the Miner on the right side, which provides a counter push as well. So he needs to respond to that, right? And he just uses MK on the left side. He's going to lose his right side tower. I'm just going to Inferno Tower and I can just distract at this point. There is no way for him to win. Because he wasted his sap. So that's going to be GG's for the second match. The third match will be against Carlos CR. Just go for an Ice Spirit the middle. Once again, cycling to that Evo is crucial. He goes for the Bats, so it could be a deck like MK Bait again, but most likely it's going to be Mortar. He goes for the Delivery on the barrel, just barely getting it down in time. He goes for a very interesting cage placement. What is he even doing? I was tempted to just pressure him here, but I could have probably played Knight Gang on the right side since his cage was placed in such an odd placement. I don't think that Knight in the back was really the best play at all, but it works out just taking it slow. It's always good in the beginning of a match to sort of try and fill out your opponent and the deck that they have. So just go for an Inferno Tower on his champion here. So far he's played Bats, Delivery, Cage, Champion, and Balloon. So he's got the Miner as well. So he's going to be playing Miner Balloon. I knew the Inferno Tower was going to kill the Balloon. So I didn't need to worry about that. The Miner does get some damage, but we make up for it by getting like 3 Princess hits on the left. So not a bad start. So he's running Balloon Miner with Delivery. Unfortunately, that was a bit of a bad gang. I should have played it either right on top of the tower to redirect the Fisherman, or earlier so that the Fisherman wouldn't have locked onto the tower. But we get 1 Spirit Goblin hit, so we're still ahead by just a little bit. He goes for another Balloon. This time around I actually have my Evo Ice Spirit, so I think that's a very, very bad Balloon. I guess he didn't know that I had the Evo Ice Spirit. Wait, not a bad Balloon, actually. Yeah, a terrible Balloon, because, look, I can just go for a Princess on it, and he spent, what, like 12 Elixir, including his Evo Bats. And now I have a counter push with the Evo Barrel as well, so hopefully we can get something going here. He can't go for the Delivery, because it's pretty much his only barrel response, at least when I've got a tank. He does have the Snowball too, so pretty nice dual push here. He does defend it somewhat well on the left side, but at least we even out the damage. Inferno Tower is super strong at this matchup because he doesn't have a reset for it. What he does have though is the Bats, especially the Evo Bats. and he does have the Goblin Stein, and those two cards are what makes it tricky in this matchup. So knowing that he doesn't have Log, Arrows, or Barb Barrel, I just go for Knight Gang and then a barrel in the back. And looking back, I should have played the barrel directly on the tower. I'm really not sure why I didn't do that. But he goes for a nice Fisherman, and luckily for us, he did Snowball as well. So he wasted more elixir. He goes for some pretty bad bats at the bridge. Can just go for an Ice Bird on them, and Inferno Tower plus Rocket cleans up everything. Bad Fisherman prediction on my Princess the bridge. The Goblin Gang should clean that. And then I can just go for another Inferno Tower Rocket here. I should be able to rocket the balloon and at least part of the champion. So pretty nice rocket there, because the champion was resetting the Inferno Tower. So I needed to kill off the big guy as well. He goes for an interesting miner in the back here. He was just cycling to the balloon, but luckily we get back to the Inferno Tower in time. And in a situation like this, it's so huge that he doesn't have the sap. Because if I can just get the Inferno Tower to lock onto the balloon for a short amount of time, I'll be fine for the defense. Because he couldn't get his bats down in time to block the Inferno, and then I'm fine. So here I go for a perfect gang onto that miner, catching it very nicely. He wasted his Snowball there, which I think is a mistake. Go for an Evo Barrel. He needs to deliver the left side. He's late on it, but look at the right side. He can't really defend it. The Goblins are just shooting away at his tower along with the Princess, and then Rocket takes out the tower. So pretty nicely played game here. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next match. By the way, guys, do comment down below how your season end went, and if you've got a nice finish, or if you achieved your goal last season. Please comment down below and let me know, so I can see how you guys did, and if you're happy with your season end finishers. So we're going against a guy called Happy Helper. He goes for an EQ and then the champion, so he's probably going to be running, I was about to say Piggies, but not with the champion. It's going to be regular Hog EQ with Firecracker, probably. That's the most likely thing, because Piggies usually runs Queen. He goes for an ability. I mean, he does get some tower damage, but I don't think it was the greatest ability. Really nice Ice Bird to catch the Firecracker. Going for a barrel as well to pressure him a bit. And the Princess is taking out the cannon. Go for a log on the Skellies very nicely to just kill it off. And Knight to once again block the Firecracker. Man, this guy is way too predictable. This guy is way too predictable. He goes for an Ice Bird. It locks onto the Knight instead of the Princess. And I have a Princess still shooting away at his cannon. Can just go for a gang to kill maybe Skellies or something. He didn't even have it back in cycle. Maybe that was actually a bad gang. I should have played it on the right side, but get some very nice damage to begin with. So I'm very happy with that start of the match. He hasn't even played a Hog Rider since the beginning. Okay, so I'm just going to be ready with my Inferno Tower. There's no really point for me to go aggressive in any way at this point, since I've got such a nice damage lead. I'm just going to cycle a log and kind of wait him out. So he goes for a Hog Rider. Can just Inferno Tower on that. My strategy for this game is basically just going to be to try and get some really nice value out of my Princesses. Once again, we get a third prediction out of the Firecracker. That's crazy. And here I messed up a bit badly. I missed this Firecracker with my log, which was super annoying, because it's just not gonna die. But it's not the end of the world, I guess. But back to this strategy. So basically in this match, I want to try to obviously defend really well, first of all. But I also want to make sure that I get some nice value out of my Princesses by stacking them, playing them in the back, and having them at the middle to control the game. That's really what you want in a matchup like this, to control the game with the Princesses. And then basically, whenever you get some nice Princess value that allows you to be up a bit of elixir, that's when you can kind of go a bit overly aggressive, you could say, with the Evo Girl or something like that, or like I did in the beginning, right? Just go for a log on the Hog Rider and Firecracker too. It's kind of weird in this match that I still haven't gotten a chance to activate the King Tower, but it's because usually you can activate the King Tower early by just them going aggressive with the Hog Firecracker, but in this match he played the single elixir phase so poorly that I was able to pressure him through the entire thing, so he didn't really get a firecracker off on my tower at any point. But yeah, you'll see my point here, right? I have 2 princesses down, 1 now, but it allowed me to go for a very nice Evo Bro push, because he needs to spend so much for the princesses, or they just provide so much value in general, that they can kind of make things a bit annoying for him. Here I go for a log on both the firecrackers. I was hoping that the iceberg would jump on the firecracker, but unfortunately it didn't. Once again, the firecracker still doesn't shoot, so I still don't have king tower. Very nice barrel up in the front, securing a single hit. And yeah, here comes the tricky part, and that's what I really dislike about the new champion. It's the fact that the big guy, or the monster guy, he targets towers, so it basically functions as like a secondary win condition. So I need to spend my Inferno Tower on that, but then I don't have the Inferno Tower for the Hog Rider, and he can just EQ it, and it just messes me up completely, which is super annoying. But very good damage on the left side with the Evo Barrel. That's going to be 1 rocket and 2 logs, so just go for a rocket on this Hog Rider, and I can finally activate my King Tower, actually. And there's no reason for me to rush this game. He can't really break through in the last 15 seconds, so I just need to make sure that I defend his last Hog Rider. I can even just save up for a rocket and straight up rocket his Hog Rider, and that's what I do. Log to protect his firecracker or anything, and that's going to be a good game against Hog EQ. The next match here is against some guy called Madi. Just going to go for a barrel straight on his tower, and then go for a princess on his ice brit. He did a very good NATO there, taking 0 hits. Okay, so this guy is going to be running Hog Exy with the Valkyrie, NATO, and the Hog Rider. Very nice rocket on the Valkyrie, I think. Well, nothing. I was about to say he could have Hog Rider it opposite and prevented me getting so much rocket value, but I could have just Inferno'd the middle, so either way I would have been fine in that situation. Off to a decent start, I guess. He goes for a very aggressive rocket here. That's actually insane. But I'm not gonna try to go overly aggressive and punish him, because I know he's got Exy, he's got Valkyrie, he's got Log Goblins, NATO. He's got the perfect defense. So I need to be very smart about this. I can't just spam the bridge, because he can defend and get some very strong counter pushes. He goes for a Valkyrie the back. I can just go for a Knight the back against that to save the princess, and he's gonna have to play his Executioner or his NATO if he wants to take that princess out. I go for an Ice Spirit to try to predict his Executioner so that I could have Inferno'd up high, but he did it very nicely off to the side. Pretty nice NATO by him. Terrible log. I don't know what he was doing there. I'm just gonna place a princess down to cycle to my Knight, and I got some very nice damage on the right side. So at this point we're looking at a perfect scenario where we're going opposite lane. I'm slightly ahead. Yeah, and he had to waste his Evo Valkyrie there. So I'm gonna get an Evo Ice Spirit on top of the Evo Valkyrie, and I should be fine here. Inferno Tower will clean up. So basically, a matchup like this, it can be very tricky because they have triple spell and they have a lot of pressure. So do you as a Logbait player, but they have more pressure in my opinion because they can defend very easily. And Valkyrie, Exy, Hog, NATO, the combination of all that can be quite tricky. So kind of predicted his rocket here with the Princess the Bridge. He goes for a Valkyrie, predicting the Princess, but he had to waste his log, so I'm going to go aggressive now with a Barrel Barrel Gang. Unfortunately, his Ice Spirit actually jumped, but we still got 1 hit and we got a log, so we're still even on damage, which is the most important part. You never want to fall back on damage, because they have the King Tower, so your Evo Barrel really doesn't provide that much value in my opinion. Log his Goblins away, and that Inferno Tower should clean up pretty much everything. I have to go for a Knight on the Exy since it didn't target the Inferno, but still looking fine. And even though I just said the Evo Barrel doesn't do that much, it's still important to apply pressure in both lanes here. Get some pretty nice damage on the left lane, and then just log the right side, and both sides are even now, but he goes for a rocket once again, just gonna Inferno Tower, and still once again not gonna rocket his tower, because I know it wouldn't be a good play. He did a bad Ice Spirit here, He went for he had to go for a Valkyrie on the Princess because of that, straight into my Inferno Tower. And because he wasted his Valkyrie completely, so I was up, what was it, 2 elixir, and I got a Princess hit. I decided to go for a rocket on his tower. So at this point, I'm ahead by quite a bit. I set up with an Inferno Tower early, and I kind of have a feeling that he's going to try to get some funny stuff going with his rocket and my Inferno Tower. So he gets 1 hog hit here, which is a little bit annoying, but he did have the NATO, so not much I could have done. Just gonna barrel again, and unfortunately I played it in the back, so he caught it with the goblins. Just gonna Inferno Tower here. He goes for a very bold prediction there on my Inferno Tower, but he did a very bad log as well. He shouldn't have played that log. There is no reason for it. So I can just go for a Night Barrel here, predicting his goblins with the log. If my log had been just 1 second earlier, I would have clipped that 1 Ice Spirit and gotten a lot more damage. But anyway, I mirror his rocket, and as you guys see, it's very, very close at this point. I go in for an Evo Barrel rather than defending immediately, and then I go for an Inferno Tower up high. He has 2 goblins on the left, which is huge because I don't want him to spend all his elixir on a push. And then I go for a log on his tower. I go for a barrel last second because I know if he does get a log down, then I'm gonna lose. So I need the barrel. I need him to defend the barrel, and yeah, we managed to get the win by a couple hundred HP. But I think that showcases why it's like super difficult to win. But GG's to this guy. In the last match of the video, we are going to be facing Mercy. Kind of an interesting name, but he goes for the guards on the barrel. We still managed to sneak in 1 hit. But guards probably means that he is going to be running the, guess it, Evo P.E.K.K.A. And he goes for the P.E.K.K.A. in the back, second play. Terrible play. He goes for the E-Drag, but there is really no point in doing that. If he goes for the P.E.K.K.A. first play, he should be prepared to at least lose his tower without spending an E-Drag on it as well. Like, what is this guy doing, man? He lets me take his tower for a -1 trade. Like, what? He goes for a Ram Rider. I managed to get the log down perfectly timed, and then I just played the Knight on it. And we're looking at a very, very nice start here. The only thing we need to look out for is the fact that he does have his Evo P.E.K.K.A. in cycle now. Or he'll be like, 1 or 2 cards away. He goes for the champion. I'm just going to go for a high Goblin Gang to DPS it down or force out the ability early. I really like to go for the Goblin Gang off to the side onto the champion, because the Spear Goblins will continuously chip down the big guy even when the Stab Goblins die. So I think the Goblin Gang is pretty good for that. He has the guards on the barrel, so I can just Princess on it, and he's probably going to Evo P.E.K.K.A. now. Yep, and there it is. I don't really have any great plays now because his tower is practically dead, so it's not like I can pressure an opposite lane really. I think I'm just going to log his tower or set it with an early Inferno Tower, because there's really no point for me to take his tower just yet. So setting up for defense is going to be the most important part. Now I do know that he has the E-Drag, and he actually gets a very nice E-Drag here. Luckily for me, it didn't reset my Inferno Tower, or I might have been in a bit of trouble. Because he did predict my gang with it, but it circulated around without hitting the Inferno. Bad champion here. That's just a free rocket for me. And I'm ready for a Ram Rider with the Princess and the Evo Ice Spirit. Although, best case scenario, I definitely save my Evo Ice Spirit for his next Evo P.E.K.K.A. Just gonna gang here. Once again, like, it can be a little bit difficult setting up for defense in situations like these where you're unable to pressure opposite lane, but you just gotta figure out what works. And to be honest, at this point, cycling a Knight in the back is perfectly fine, because if I can like stall him out for these 20 seconds, then I'll be absolutely fine. So just rocket away his E-Drag, not taking any chances. And he doesn't have a reset for the Inferno besides the E-Drag, so setting a new Inferno up will do just fine. So that's gonna be GG's for the last match of the video. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please comment down below, like, subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next video.